Okay, moving on to the next segment then, I'd like to invite upon Mr. Lovaii Navlakhi once again on the stage for ARIA's annual updates. Please join us here.
So good evening everyone, and just to inform you that there is no tea break after this because Atul Khatri is in the house and Khatri ke pehle Khatra hai, that's me. Wait for a few minutes, I will try and go through this quickly so that we are in all full rapt attention when he is performing. So primarily I think that most of you who have been members from earlier know that the vision is, and that N is intentionally put a little lower so you pay attention to those words. Establish RIA as the gold standard for holistic independent advice. And the mission is to develop the RIAs by adherence to the code of ethics and global best practices, right? This is the current board. So there are 10 members on the board. They're elected. We do an election every 3 years, but in case somebody resigns in the middle of the year, then every year that replacement or that seat is sought in election, right? So we already spoke about our partners, and the way we work is that the partnership is a year-long process. There are certain deliverables that we give to the partners, which includes a session that the board has with each of the CEOs of these platinum partners, and that's probably our most engaging time that we devote so that we understand what is it that each partner wants, and from our side we are also talking about what is it that we will need help from them in developing the profession. And as I mentioned in the morning, these partners have really backed us even before we had anything to show in the beginning. And then many of them have continuously supported us over these years. Till the time that we grow our numbers, I think that's going to be something that we will need their support if we are to have events like these. So ARIA was set up as a Section 8 company in 2019. Before that, quick background was in somewhere around 16 or 17, a small task force was created. Suresh, Vishal and I started this off, and next year we realized we've not done much work, so we added then Harsh and Vivek to the group, and then the following year Renu was added to the group, and then we actually formed the company. The first year we were the nominated board, and thereafter a year later there was an election. At the present moment we have 318 members. We are present in 33 cities. Like we mentioned, the board members are 10, volunteers are well more than 15. And I think what is important for each one of you to think of as we go through quickly the different segments in which we operate is that where do you think you can help and contribute? So most of the meetings of these different subcommittees are online, so you can certainly help from wherever you are, and we'd like to make sure that the representation is widespread. It's not just from 1 or 2 cities, it's pretty widespread. Okay, this you can't read, but the member engagement committee really ensures that there are ongoing sessions for members year on year and through the year. Over the years, we have kept modifying this based on feedback that we have received from members. So in the first year, probably 2-3 years ago, many of the sessions were led by partners, and then we realized that the question that most members had was on practice management and of course, compliance. So many sessions were run by members themselves or by practitioners, and therefore we reduced the number of sessions that the AMCs or the partners provided for us. But with partners, we've been able to do some CEO sessions. They've been sending out communication, etc. As I mentioned, so there were 4 CEO interactions with ARIA members that was done with the platinum partners. 4 of them were done. 1 of them got rescheduled, so that's not happened. During the year, we've had 2 virtual summits. So we had one virtual summit in October, at which time Mr. Kamlesh Varshni, the whole-time member, shared his insights on the ARIA reforms. And at that stage, we first got a sign that, okay, many of the things that we are asking for are likely to come to fruition. And then in December of 24, we held a second virtual summit on Empower, Expand and Excel. So in both of these, we had 100 and 200 plus participants who took part in it. ARIA clinic, and this is something that I think bears attention, needs your attention. This is something we are realizing that many people who are interested in looking at moving into an ARIA practice. Of course, they have many questions. So we did, the new membership committee set up and created an ARIA clinic in January end. We did another one sometime last month. And what we are doing tomorrow is that there is an ARIA clinic for those who are not RIAs. And I don't know whether you're aware, maybe you've got a WhatsApp message already. But if you're not an RIA and you want to attend the RIA clinic and you're present here today and paid for today, that clinic is complimentary. So if you can either respond on the WhatsApp, if you've not received it, at the registration desk in the break after Atul Khatri's session, you can give your name and turn up there. But we had more than 200 odd people in January. We had maybe 100 plus more last month. And we are seeing this as something that we should do on an ongoing basis, right? The other thing is that there is a tech team, and of course, we depend on a vendor, so it takes time. But we've managed to get the website revamped, and now all details are available there. You must go there and update your details so that if people are looking for an RIA, they can go to the site and search. And then your name will come up. So I think that's a very important piece that you need to take care of. Advocacy, this is the most active, I would say, team, largely driven by the requests from SEBI on one side and from members on the other side. Like I mentioned in the morning, many of the board recommendations that we went through after a lot of deliberations were considered in the new regulation that came up in December and January. So that's good. On the regulation side, now there is a very clear recognition, and you heard Mr. Anantarayan talking about the comfort that the regulator has in dealing with ARIA. So as an association, I must tell you that we have a place on the Intermediary Advisory Committee that's run by SEBI. So many intermediaries are there. The chair of ARIA is is a ex officio member on that committee. And that gives us a lot of insight into what's going on across other intermediary and also influence some of the decisions or understand what the thinking is so that we can influence. The other place where we are, we actually co-chair the Industry Standards Forum for IA and RA. So things which are required to be discussed in terms of the standards to be set for an IA and RA, that committee we happen to co-chair along with Kamla Madam from BSE. And that's another place where we are present. And of course, we have already seen that the new chairperson has reached out to ARIA. There was a chance that he would have made it to today's conference as well, although his appointment was pretty close to the conference. But there's a SEBI board meeting on Monday, so he could not attend. But he sought audience with the ARIA board in the forthcoming week. So we are hoping that we are able to share what we are thinking and also hear from them what they are thinking, right? So I think there's a lot of work in advocacy that definitely needs to be more help. One of the things that I think we had spoken about few years ago that we would do in advocacy was to create white papers and share with the regulator. That's not something that we've been able to do, and maybe that will come up in future. There is a separate media committee. You got Bijal. Bijal was recognized today in the volunteers, but she takes care of the social media posts, and we are trying to increase awareness about RIA profession, then from RIA profession getting into the need to become an ARIA member and what you could get help from. And that is being addressed from point of view of one, the regulator, two, new potential members, and then third, the existing members. So we are trying, we are not like, I would say, top of the class yet there, but we are trying very hard to get our presence felt more frequently. And whenever we do speak with media, they are very happy to engage with us if we can sort of do something on an ongoing basis. If it could be, even it could mean articles, blogs, responding to queries, etc. But if we could do it as ARIA and on an ongoing basis, I think they're more than happy to engage. Of course, this is something that happened in 23, when the SEBI chairperson came for an event where we launched a risk profiling tool and a whole bunch of questions. I don't know, those of you who were there remember Harsh grilling her, and a lot of them we realized got fulfilled in this recent regulation. We keep taking member feedback. This was taken probably almost 8-10 months ago. But at that point in time, the rating was 7.94. We keep trying to watch what our constituents want from us, and we will continue doing that as well. The last thing I want to share is the new office bearers for the next year. So one of the things I want to highlight that we decided as ARIA board right at the beginning, that this will not be a place for power. Therefore, while we are elected for 3 years, the office bearers change every year. And we are trying to build in a system that the vice chairperson moves to chairperson, the treasurer moves to vice chair, and then we have only an election for treasurer from among the 10. This year we had joint treasurers because they got equal votes. So between them, they managed to agree on which one of them will move up to vice chairman and which one will continue to be treasurer. So there were some people who were saying they wanted to clap for Kavita and other board members. This is a good time for you to clap for her. Kavita, are you there? I don't know whether you're there, right? So here's the clap, okay, ensured. So I think that the other piece that obviously you have to keep in mind, once the doors will now get locked because Atul Khatri doesn't want anyone moving. But after that, when we open up, we are going to have high tea. We are also going to have 2 places where you can, we are going to have Ask Me Anything stalls or places. One will happen at one end of or both will happen at the end of the hallway, on one side of the tea coffee counter, the other on the other side. So 2 or 3 of our members who are individuals will be there on one side, those who are non-individuals on another side. So you can ask questions to all of them together. You want to do one-on-one, you can do that. Grab some snacks and we'll get that going. And you continue to be here because there's dinner also organized. Enjoy that. And those of you who have not yet registered for workshops tomorrow, I think there are some seats yet open. You can inquire at the registration counter and do that, but there are very, very few seats. So if you want to do that, you could go and register for them. That's it that I wanted to share. Thank you very much.